Ooh, he nasty. No, hey, again, don't come for me, you hear me? All right, y'all. Today we're gonna talk about fantasies. Ooh. But today we're gonna talk about fantasies, right? So let's jump right into it. So my thing about fantasies, I love them. I ain't gonna lie, I love them. But as I've gotten older, I realize that that's where they need to stay. They need to stay fantasies, right? I heard this person on, I think it was TikTok, but I heard this person that I follow on TikTok, and she said that most of the time, and I agree, but she said that most of the time we meet a person or our type, so to speak, or whatever the situation is, it's a fantasy of that person. Oh no, let me take that back. And if I could find the video again, I'll post it.
Sometimes they be wanting you real bad because the want makes them high. But when they actually get you, they won't want you anymore because they've already imagined it so much to the degree that when they get you, you fall short of their imagination. You fall short of all that they thought that this would be because they wanted you for so long. That's why I don't like people who want me. What you want me for? You don't even know me. You don't even know what it's like to be here. What do you want? And you know what? The people that actually have me don't ever want me because they know what it's like to have me. People that want you, it's a trap. Stop wanting people to want you because want is an indication of lack. And when people are longing for you, they're not even longing for the real you. They're longing for the image in their head that they created of you. Stop wanting people who want you. And have people in your life who have you. Only allow people in your life who have you and who focus on having you, and you have them. Not want.
If you have a crush on somebody, that crush is the fantasy of that person, if that makes sense. You for one, really don't know the person. You don't know who they are, how they act, how you have this huge major crush on them, but you don't really know the person, right? So you're basically having a crush or in love with a fantasy of what you see, right? Because this person, he might be tall, dark, and handsome, or he might be this or that or third, or she might be whatever the case is. But your crush is built on a fantasy, right? And that's why when the situation happened and you meet a person and you all head over heels over this person, and then they start to open their mouth or they start to do certain things that you like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? That's where that comes from. And that's why I say I agree with her, because we've all been in those situations where we've had a crush on somebody, and then once we really get to know that person, it's like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just because of body type or what they look like or something like that, but most of the time it's like, for instance, with me, right? I like certain things about women, and certain things I'm not crazy about, but they're human things, right? Like if you play too much, that's and y'all can come for me if you want, but it is what it is. If you just play too much, that's too much for me, right? Or if you kind of not refined, if that makes sense, to a certain extent. I know everybody ain't gonna be the perfect person, but just to make an example, right? Like if you eating or we're eating and you just you know what I'm saying, you just belch it all over the place, or you just loud and why they ain't doing this and why you know what I'm saying? That for me is like a turn off. Now you could be the finest thing in the world, but those kind of things, they just turn me off. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say this part, but it is what it is. It's a part of life, right? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody do it. But it's like if you just passing gas all over the place and you don't care, you think it's funny, that's not funny to me. And I don't know what it is about that, but that ain't funny to me. You know what I'm saying? People have certain ways that they joke or make fun or whatever, right? And some of that just ain't funny to me. I don't know why, and I'm sure it's because of my issues or some things that I have or whatever, because this whole narrative about a woman being able to go in the bathroom with her husband and talk to him or her boyfriend while I ain't gonna be able to do it. Your time in there is your time. My time in there is my time. Now, I'm sure that is probably an insecurity trait or from whatever the situation is, but I ain't gonna be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? But those are the things I'm saying, right? Because we fall in love, or not fall in love, but we so caught up on a fantasy, right? And like I said earlier, I believe that fantasies should be left where they are. And here's another thing, and y'all don't come for me. I promise you don't. And anyway, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Some fantasies should be that fantasy, right? And I know I keep saying that, but I just want to put it in perspective. So here's the thing, and I'm going to be transparent, and I'm just going to tell you, right? So my thing was always, as a young man, or as a man, whatever, my thing was, and I'm sure a lot of other people are that way, but my thing was always, I want to have a threesome, right? I'm just being real. Ooh, he nasty. No, hey, again, don't come for me, you heard me? But anyway, that's like always been a fantasy for me, right? And then one time the opportunity was presented. I mean, presented, right? And it didn't go the way my mind had planned it, or it didn't go the way I had already, you know what I'm saying, that figured it out in my head or how it was gonna go, right? So this is too crazy. But anyway, so it didn't go the way I planned. So that's why that's like one of the things why I keep saying it's a fantasy, right? And that's probably where it should stay, because it ain't gonna never go the way you got it pictured in your head. I can tell you that right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I've heard some people say it was the best thing in the world for them, but that was for them. That's how that worked. You know what I'm saying? As I've gotten older, but the crazy, let me finish the thought. As I've gotten older, I've met a lot of people that are polygamous. Is that the word? They're poly, right? And I actually know some people that are poly, right? Now, again, I was about to say, that doesn't mean that they do that in their lifestyle. Their lifestyle is just that of they can have more than one partner. Most time, it's a man with a few different wives, or 2 or 3 different wives, or it's a woman with a husband and a couple boyfriends, or that's the narrative that, right? The people that I know, one set is a man and 2 wives. Another set, and I've seen a lot of this on the internet, but I'm just saying the people that I know personally. And the other one is, was a woman, she was married, but she had a couple of boyfriends, and a couple of girlfriends, and then he had a girlfriend or something like that. So I'm not saying that everybody in that situation or everybody in the poly relationship or just having these wild orgies, because it's not like that. Because the way they explained it is whenever they're with their person, it's one at a time. It ain't like everybody all in, having this free for all thing. You know what I mean? But anyway, that was that situation. And like I said, it didn't go the way I had it pictured in my head, right? And but I mean, it was what it was. Don't get me wrong. But all I'm saying is that most time our crush on a certain person is built on a fantasy, right? Because it's that fantasy that we make up in our own minds as humans, right? Because we see somebody and Lord have mercy, she's so pretty or she's so fine or whatever. And then if you ever get the chance to get close to that person or be in a relationship with that person, half of the time, a lot of times they mean as hell. A lot of times they don't clean up. That's a big issue for me. That's a big issue for me. My first thing, if I meet a person, and this is obviously back in the day because I'm married, my first thing is, if I ever come to your house and you got clothes all over the place, I don't care if they clean, they come out of the dryer, whatever. If you got clothes all over the place or you just got a mess everywhere, and if I go in that bathroom and that bathroom ain't clean, that's a wrap for me. But that's my issues. That's my thing. Because that's who I am, right? As a man and as a person. So that's a deal breaker for me. But now before that, I had this huge crush or this huge fantasy about this person because they were so fine or because they were so pretty or soft-spoken or whatever the case might be that turns you on or that floats your boat. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, I had this whole fantasy about you. And now I get to your house and your sink got a ring around it and you got dirty towels hanging on. Dirty towels hanging, and this ain't no subliminals to nobody. I promise you it's not. I'm just using that as an example and making up some stuff. But you got dirty towels hanging on your shower curtain. The tub look like it ain't been cleaned in 2 or 3 weeks, and so on and so forth, right? I ain't gonna be able to do it. But before that, I done built up this whole imaginary lifestyle that you have, and you ain't nowhere near that, right? Or nothing about that. Or on the other side of that, it's the same for me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might have had a crush on me, and then when they met me, they was like, this dude too deep. He crazy. He mean. He fussing all the time. He this, he that. You know what I'm saying? But they got this whole fantasy because I've been told that by a lot of different people. Oh, you can sing to me all the time. You can sing to me anytime. But everybody that I've been in a relationship with or been married to, that was a narrative in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But then 9 times out of 10, after a little while, they just hear me when y'all hear me. You know what I'm saying? Or they probably get sick of hearing me. Not singing, because I don't, but I'm talking about like fussing or, you know what I'm saying? Always being too deep or always being too quiet or whatever the situation is. But in your mind or in that person's mind, they done made up this whole lifestyle that I have or I'm supposed to have, and I'm not that person or I'm not him. You know what I'm saying? I'm him for who I'm him for. But they got some stuff that go along with that. But anyway, I know I'm making a lot of fun today and all of that kind of stuff. But on the real note, Just keep fantasies as fantasies. Now, if it's one that you know that can be played out, or you know that's not way over the roof or way over the whatever, if it could happen, by all means, do what you do. Do you handle your business? You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at you, but just know that everybody we have a crush on, or everybody we see on the outside, or see a pretty picture or a handsome picture of, meaning the whole outside aesthetics, we see that in the way they walk and the way they talk and the way they act and all of that. There's always more to that. You know what I'm saying? Because to go back to one of my other videos, most people have trauma, regardless to what kind of trauma it is, what happened to them, what it came from. Most people have something, right? Just like I was just talking about the stuff that's not funny to me or that don't work for me. Other people have those things too. Maybe not the same things, but they have those situations too, right? Like, again, they might love the way I sing. It's always he got some pretty hair, or he got a pretty smile, or he's so easy to talk to, or he's so nice and calm. But when you see the other side of me, you be like, I got to get away from this fool. This dude done gone crazy. He always fussing. Either he fussing or he ain't saying nothing, right? Or it's always like way different ends of the spectrum. And that might not be good for you, right? He don't want to go nowhere. He don't want to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I heard this other dude, he was like, man, this other guy that I follow on TikTok, he was like, all I want to do, that was the comedian dude. I can't remember his name, but the comedian dude with the food, with the red bean. Oh, you made this? That dude. I'm going to get his name. I'm going to put his name on here. But he's a comedian, and he said he liked to eat and watch movies. That's me. I wish I could stop eating so much, but I like to eat and I would like to watch movies. I don't like to be bothered all the time. You might not like that. You might like to go out. You might like to hang out. Let's go to the park. Let's go do this. Let's go. And granted, if you my person, I'm going to do some of those things because I know you want to do them, right? But I ain't going to offer to do them. I'm not going to say, let's go here, let's go there, whatever. You tell me you want to do something, let's do it, right? And again, like I said before, that's not fair, but that's the way it is. And saying all of that to say is that my wife ain't with me because of the things I do for her, or all of that, or because I'm so because I'm so funny, or because I'm so happy all the time, or because I'm so smart, or she feels like I'm handsome, so that's cool. That's a plus for me. You know what I'm saying? But she ain't with me for all of them other things, because if she was, she'd be long gone. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole point in that. Most time, and again, sometimes they can work, but most time, a fantasy need to stay just that, because at the end of the day, that's all it is. Now, could it become a reality? Of course it can, but it's going to take a whole lot to make that a reality. Not saying it's going to take a whole lot to make it happen. It's just not going to play out. It's not going to play out the way you thought it was going to play out. That's my point about that, right? So I don't want to make this video too long. So don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit your notification bell. That way you can be notified every time I upload a video. And I'll see you in the next one. I appreciate you guys watching. And thanks to all of my new subscribers. Welcome to the page. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.